Hello everyone, this is Gary, CarboRaider, and we got today's Saturday live stream. Okay, yep, everything looks good. And I'm going to be taking questions. Let's see. Yeah, I got a comment already. Alright, today's video, the topic is Q&A on the CarboRaider diet. Leaving the diet matrix behind. Yeah, the way to really leave it behind for good. That's what leaving it behind means. To do that, you need to be eating a sustainable diet. Now, it's not enough to say that the vegan diet is sustainable because, you know, the World Health Organization says it is. It's got everything you need. But you still need to get enough of it, of the specific things you need. So I'm going to look into this CarboRaider diet. But while we're waiting for a big audience to show up here so they can hear what that is and then ask questions, they got to be here first. I'm going to take a look at my notifications here that have popped up. You can see that over to the right of the screen there. Here's Michelle down there. Her latest video is called Truly Remarkable. Tufano, there you go. Oh, that's interesting. I'm trying to make a video. I've been making it yesterday. You're supposed to get up yesterday, but I got delayed. So busy with a lot of stuff. I mentioned Frank in there. But you haven't seen that video yet, so I can't use the reference there. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, that video. She's doing a response to that video. I mentioned the video in the video that I made yesterday. That'll be coming out later today. But I didn't do a review on it. But Frank, I've been saying Frank is so much of a joke that I don't know if he's worth talking about anymore. Wait till you see the action I took. That's very, very good for you. Good for me. Good. It's good. It's good for Gary the CarboRaider. So yeah, do I have anything to say? No, that's it. And you'll see why. My video coming out later today. So we X that out, and then the next one is Dr. Berg there. He makes a lot of videos. Fortunately, they're not all really dangerous for society. His video is jittery feeling from too much coffee. Is that specifically for the keto crowd? For any of my new viewers, I have mentioned and made fun of many times keto people drinking a lot of coffee. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, when there's something to that, of course. You know, coffee's not good for you, but they drink it. Oh. And that's because they don't have enough energy. Oh, and coffee is a really bad way to get your energy because it doesn't have energy of its own. It shocks your adrenal glands, people. There's no reason to go on a keto diet. So I'm going to search my pictures here. Actually, I redid that picture recently, so it's one of the latest ones here. It's right in here somewhere. Yeah, remember this picture? You can't see that. What was it? Effects. Well, coffee. There it is. Let's see here. There's the picture. Low carb effect. So it looks like Berg isn't going to just tell people to not drink so much coffee. He's got some kind of a cure for the cure of the cure. Seriously. Go on keto to cure something when you could just do it the right way. And then you wouldn't need the cure to keto, which is coffee. Then when you get too jittery, you need a cure for that. I never watch his videos anymore. I already know what he's going to say. He doesn't say much either. His videos are short too. So next notification. Some PhD. Ask me anything about nutrition. No thanks. Here on my channel and in my diet, you don't need to think much about nutrition. And you shouldn't think much about nutrition. You don't want to get wrapped up in nutrients. That's not really how you should pick a diet. And the reason is because what will happen is you'll get so wrapped up in nutrients and trying to get a lot of certain nutrients that you'll end up eating foods that are not really meant to be eaten, at least in large quantities, like nuts and avocados. You know, eating so much of them that you're not eating the foods you're supposed to be eating. And you also, I've seen people get in this mindset that the only way to get enough fat soluble vitamins, because look, if they're fat soluble, you need to eat them with fat, but then we say everything has fat in it. And I guess they think, well, it's not enough. You need actual high-fat foods. You need to eat a lot of and then you're then you're combining foods the wrong way to get the nutrients. That reminds me. Got this book sitting here from the 70s, I think. And I've read this all. And it's a good thing I didn't get wrapped up in it. I think I got a little into that combining things. But at the same time I was reading this in the early 90s, I was also reading a book that talked about, that's around somewhere too. It talked about proper food combining and how you don't want to mix like fats and carbs together, or not that really. You don't want to mix certain food groups like fats and fruits. You don't want to mix fruit with anything. And you don't want to mix beans with much of anything like fats. Mixing macros, it's not necessary, it's not natural, and causes problems. With beans, you're going to get that gas effect. It's not just the beans that do that. There's something that I can be teaching here, because my CarboRaider channel, my CarboRaider diet has plenty of beans in there. And I figure people would eat the beans a lot because they'd be worried about protein in replace of protein foods that people usually eat. Well, there's a way of eating beans where you don't have a lot of gas like people have. Number one, you soak them for a few hours, then rinse that water out. Then you cook. And then, and also your body will get used to the food. So you got to give it time. If you can beans, then you're going to want to rinse that water that's in the can, because that will create a lot of gas itself. Let's see here, what do we got going on? We got some comments here. Okay. Vegan Jerry is here again. He says hi to everyone. He mentioned like last week that he's on the CarboRaider diet after doing other stuff. Okay. You don't drink coffee, tea, or sodas. That is correct. I drink water, and also I have a juicer. I juice about 4 times a week. See, I got a question. Oh, another question is no caffeine at all? That is correct. I think you'll get that in chocolate too. I don't eat chocolate. And I don't think I've ever brought up cacao on my channel. Isn't that amazing? I'm just so busy with drama. Cacao never comes up. Those are my early days of watching YouTube. that was pushed as a health food, but you got to watch out for health foods because they're basing that on some kind of effect the food has. And when a food has an effect, a noticeable effect, it's usually not good. It's not as good as you think. It's unnatural. And that goes for chocolate. I've heard from people having bad effects eating cacao. Headaches is one thing. If a food gives you headaches, there's a problem with that. You never hear people getting a headache from bananas. See, the thing with cacao is it's a nut and it's wrapped in a hard shell, which means it wasn't meant for us to eat. And not surprising that the food has bad, weird effects because we're not meant for it. Okay, next question. How much fat do you recommend for a cholesterol problem, Gary? That's a good question. Right. If you have high cholesterol in the bloodstream and want to get it lower, you're definitely going to want to go really low on the dietary fat. And some great advice I can give everybody here is you don't have to worry about eating too low level of fat if, this is all important here, if you're eating a whole foods diet. One problem people can encounter and do encounter on low-fat diets is that they're eating products, packages with the words low-fat on them. And I don't know if it has too low a fat. You know, with these man-made products, you can remove just about all of the fat, and then you have something that's unnatural. Even, like I said, even bananas and carrots, they have fat naturally in them. It's very low, but it's in there. And of course, if you eat a predominantly fruits and vegetables diet, you're going to be eating a lot of those things because they're low in calories. You've got to eat high volume to get enough calories, and that's where people go wrong so often. So if you're eating whole fruits and vegetables, grains, you'll be getting enough fat. So you want to go with those low-fat foods. This is recommended by experts. I remember a specific book, probably multiple books that came out in the 90s, talking about diet and heart disease. That's when people started, that's when maybe scientists and experts in the field started recognizing that you can reverse heart disease. Yeah, for people who weren't around then, there was a time, before the 90s, all those years before the 90s, it was believed by everyone that you could not reverse heart disease. And they believed the same thing about brain damage and eye damage. And I just never believed this. Even as a teenager with no education, I just didn't buy that the body could not fix these things. And I was a believer that living naturally would cure just about everything. And I turned out to be right. My teenage self turned out to be right when the scientific community, medical community was wrong. So these books in the 90s came out talking about how, yes, heart disease is being reversed if you eat a healthy, low-fat diet and you stick with it, people. Jesus. You get... What's happened to the low-fat diet in our society here, the teachers, is that they've decided that it's not good to do that diet. And I read all these bad things that they say about it. And here I am sitting here, been eating this diet since 94 and doing very well. And it's irritating. And I was thinking recently, one reason why the, what do you call it? The health and diet community has stopped promoting low fat, and now they're into healthy fats and whole foods, which is good. But I think they just moved away from low fat because one reason is simply because of money, marketing, and manipulation. The 3 M's. And it's that you have to change in order to stay in business, because most of the public doesn't want to stay on a diet, or they don't do it right, and so they didn't stick with the low-fat diet. When low-fat was pushed in the 90s and 80s, it wore out the public because everybody tried it, and then they eventually moved off it. So if you're a diet or a health guru, you have to go the way the wind blows. You can't be out here still pushing a low-fat diet, otherwise you're going to have 7 viewers. It's worn itself out. No one wants to hear about the low-fat diet anymore. And so the gurus have to change. That's why everyone's jumping on keto, because that's what's popular right now. And that's the sad reality of our society. Can't everybody see? It ought to be second nature. It ought to be, man. Okay, I'm going to get these notifications out of the way here. Yeah, nutrition. I debunked that one. Another one from Berg. The benefits of... I'll bet you a lot of you don't know this word, but I do. Colostrum. I haven't heard that word in years. Oh, man. I don't even want to describe it. It's one of those stupid things that a certain group gets into. It's back then it was just the high fat paleo. But that's not paleo. The people that just get too carried away with hacking instead of going with nature They want to hack nature. Well, you got to be careful when you do that. Otherwise, you end up sucking on a cow's tail. I'm not joking. No. Got to do some squats. Standing's not good. My legs stiffen. Benefits of closet. See, and the benefits you'll see when they talk about benefits, they will list mostly, I guess, nutrients. There you go. When you focus on nutrients, you end up doing weird stuff. So it's a type of milk, and you know, you're an adult, Dr. Eric Berg. I've debunked that guy. Not just with what he says, but the way he looks. I compared his face with mine. But turns out that picture was not conclusive. Well, it turns out I've got better pictures. And I plan to do a comparison again. Okay, next up. Oh, this guy, yeah. He, looks like this guy's another vegan turned carnivore, which is just not a thing. You don't just do that unless you're crazy. Oh, which reminds me, stay tuned for another video I got coming today. But maybe crazy like a fox. Those are two reasons to go vegan to carnivore. Is you'll get a lot of money if you do that. So here we got this person. His video is intermittent fasting on a carnivore diet and my daily routine. Oh man, sad. Again, I'll just say what I said about Casey. Why do you have to intermittent fast? Why are they the ones who are doing that more than other people? Yeah, in the days of 80-10-10, I didn't hear nothing about intermittent fasting. I was all up in that community. No intermittent fasting. Yeah, the people who are still on that diet or something similar, like my CarboRaider diet, we lasted. We sustained the diet without doing all these weird things. So maybe it's the diet. Up next, we've got Foot Soldier, one of my favorite YouTubers. Do what I please. He doesn't have to make good headlines, good titles, because you know that if you watch any of his videos, you're in for some entertainment. He's kind of like me, right? He makes his videos entertaining. Okay, that's it for new things going on there on YouTube. Now some more comments. Yeah, low fat for cholesterol problem. I also recommend fiber. It's weird that fiber is good for cholesterol. see. Here's one of my viewers saying they haven't had any coffee or soda since August. You're welcome. Oh, Pesky is here. He's a troll. He said, let's see. well, some of his comments are worth reading. Yeah. This might be one. What happens when you have a clogged CarboRaider? What happens? He's suggesting that you get clogged up on my diet. Well, no, it's less clogging than just about anything else. But if you are clogged, what do you mean clogged? And the reason my diet is unclogging is because you're not eating as much cooked food as other people, or heavy food, because you're eating so much fruit. Yep. Yeah, I should get into what the diet is. So you start your day with water, as anyone should. But you don't need too much water. Half a glass. And then at some point you have breakfast, which is a fruit meal. That is important, the word meal, because you can't just eat one or two pieces, because that's what people do on a regular diet, where they're getting most of their calories from 3 square meals a day of heavy foods. They get a lot of calories there, but you're not going to be doing that on this diet. Well, if you're just eating fruit for the first half of the day, you got to be eating plenty of it. So eat all you feel like eating. I know at first people need to adjust, and at first they can't eat very much. I didn't really have that problem. At first I was real hungry. When you clear the clogging foods out of your system, like meat, colostrum, dairy, the system just starts running better. And the appetite might pick up, because the body is saying, okay, this is the food I want. So I was eating like 5 to 10, well, not really 10, 4 to 8 pieces at a time. And then I'd be hungry soon after, and that's a common complaint with this type of eating. And to that, I tell people, that's not a problem. And even while working, I was working in the 90s, out off location, not in my house like I do now. And I was able to do this diet. I would eat before leaving the house and get to work, and then at break time I'd have fruit. Then at lunchtime, actually back then I was eating regular lunch. I remember times just walking out of the workplace and just finding some some grass where I would sit down, and then I'd open up my backpack, take out a can of beans and a can opener and some Tupperware, and I'd pour the juice out into the Tupperware, bring out a fork and start eating. You know, some people say, you can't do that. Yes, you can. You just have to put some effort into it. It's just different. For me, that became easier than if I were to drive to some restaurant, stand in line, the person in front of me goes up and then says, what should I eat today? Just sitting there on the grass, so relaxing in the sun, getting vitamin D. Hey, no problem. And I didn't even have a car, right? I would take a bus, and I'd sometimes eat on the bus. One tip for that is to not eat oranges on the bus. And that's because when you peel the rind off, it squeezes juice out of the peel. It goes into the air. Oh, man. I might as well tell this. It was pretty embarrassing to me, but you'll find it funny. So there I was peeling and eating an orange near the back, 2/3 back. And maybe 30 seconds later, I hear an announcement from the bus driver while we're driving down the road. Who's eating an orange? One of my favorite colors. That just surprised me so much. I never guessed. It took me a while to figure out. It's because of the peeling sprays all that stuff into the air, and it gets around. Right, we only have a couple more minutes. I don't want to go too long, and I got other things to do. I got to finish that video. I got to do some work. Let's see, more comments here. My grandmother used to put coffee and milk in my baby bottle. Yeah. Some parents, parents don't realize when you're giving your kid soda, you're giving them caffeine. It's just like coffee. That's not good. It's not good. Got me hooked on the caffeine. Isn't that terrible? I used to drink a lot of soda when I was a kid, but I never got hooked on the caffeine for some reason. I remember it was the first thing I quit. It was the most obvious thing. Summer of '85. I remember summer of '86. I was waiting for it so I could tell my friends, it's been a year. I haven't had soda in a year. They didn't find that interesting at all. And now I'm here. I used to brag about that stuff all through the '80s. 2 years, no soda. I haven't had an aspirin in 2 years. I remember giving that up around then. And I wasn't impressing anybody, or people, you know, they didn't want to hear it. They don't like hearing about people's good habits. It's funny that here I'm on the internet in 2018. Let's see, haven't had meat in it's been about 25 years or so. Haven't had soda in 33 years. In 8 months, I'm still bragging. I'm doing it on the internet now. For anybody who will hear. It's great stuff. More comments. Oh, and I forgot about pictures. There's a breakfast. Now, got to watch out for melons. You know, people can get tripped up on melons because they're super low in calories. Very little. And so you want to take that into consideration. You can really mess up. See, there's so many ways of tripping yourself up eating a vegan diet. And you can see why people don't last, because they're not doing it right. With my diet, I don't just keep eating fruit. You know, some people get carried away and they just go all fruit, which isn't easy to do. That's one reason why when it gets late in the day, you start eating other foods. This is hard for some people to do because once they get into the fruitarian teachings and all the benefits, they want to go overboard and just do that. Yeah, just like, I guess that's what happens with these carnivores. Oh, meat. Keto's so good, meat's so good, all these effects on paper. All these positive effects we have on our paper. Pay no attention to what the medical community says. They're so good, let's just eat meat. See? It's crazy. Comments? Okay. Someone said, congratulations to Meat is Murder. And, okay. Joey Carbstrong. Yeah. No. Okay. Very true, Gary. That was the problem in the late 70s, early 80s, low-fat fad. Lack of calories? It's very likely. I see so much low-calorie eating when they don't even know they're not eating enough. They weren't taught how to do it. Oh, and also, people would go to salads, and of course grains, but not so much fruit. You know, people would eat a couple pieces of fruit and think that's enough, because they're not really taught that once you get out of the diet matrix, the standard American diet and the way of eating there, that you really have to go full out of it. You can't retain certain habits from the standard American matrix, like eating fruit as a snack. 2 oranges is 100 calories. That's barely a snack even. That's very little. When you consider you need about 2,000 calories a day. Got to count your calories. Oh, yeah. Remember the people who would say, you got to count your calories. These are the people still eating a healthy, high-fruit diet today. They're still doing it. Meanwhile, the people who said, I don't believe in counting calories, that is unnatural. Well, what are they doing today? Probably eating a bunch of unnatural foods. Yeah, a bunch of unnatural foods were part of that low-fat craze that happened. Don't forget to wish Gary's happy birthday this Monday. My birthday came. Well, I've never said my birthday. I don't know. I've never told anyone my birthday. I think that's a joke. Ah. Did you mean that as a joke? Vegan Jerry said colostrum and cacao were promoted by David Wolf. I remember those days. Oh, wow. I didn't realize you went back that far. Were you around here? Like in 2008, 9, 10? Because those were my early days. Those were the classic days. I was sort of into him. His videos were really good, and he's got a great personality. But then I'd watch CarboRaider criticizing him, and I couldn't disagree. He's one of those people that just went overboard. And I thought going vegan was crazy. But going carnivores, and I thought, yes. Yeah. Yeah, there could be benefits to intermittent fasting. But apparently, people who eat like me haven't needed it. Some people need it. Why do they need it? Fruit spike blood sugar. No, it doesn't. It raises blood sugar. A spike is what happens when you eat refined blood sugar. But a spike itself, I don't see what the problem is. The problem is when you retain the spike, when it stays spiked, and that's because fat is preventing the blood sugar from leaving the blood. And I'm just surprised. I'm so surprised that people still don't know this stuff. What's wrong with spiking the blood sugar? Well, I've been doing that for 23 years. Pancreas produces insulin, which it is supposed to do, and lowers the blood sugar. Yep, back to normal if you're eating normally. If you get a swing too far, which is only caused by fat and refined carbs, feel hungry again. Well, you're supposed to feel hungry anyway because you need to eat. And a lot of people who eat high-fruit, low-fat diets they're eating low-calorie food. So they're going to get hungry more often. They need to eat. But they've been taught by these stupid gurus that, well, and the diet community teaches you that hunger is your enemy because calories in, calories out. That's why I hate that sicko. I started watching YouTube back in 2011. That's Vegan Jerry. Yeah, you were just getting in on the good days there. If you were watching people like CarboRaider or in the 80-10-10 community or the raw food community. Yeah. What people did you watch back in 2011? So he's saying there that spike means increase. No, it doesn't. This is where people are confused. Because almost any food's going to increase your blood sugar. A spike is a certain shape. And this is what confuses people. Vegan Jerry found my channel 4 years ago. Yeah. 4 years ago. And Jerry answered my question. He was watching CarboRaider and Freely, which so was I. They were the main people in my circles. But anybody else? I hear there was a lot of people. There's people I didn't even know about. Okay. It's almost been an hour. I want to end. Yep, I've left a lot to talk about. Still a lot to say about the diet. Well, that's what next week's for, next Saturday. I'll be here just about every Saturday if I can. So remember to bookmark the channel and subscribe, turn the notifications on, and remember to give this video a thumbs up. And I'd say this video should be shared. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Put this stuff out on Twitter, Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, so if you are, help me out and put it over there. So, oh, more pictures. Let's see. Here's a mango picture. One of my favorite foods. What was that? Oh, here's this. This goes back to like 2010. I wanted to make videos about those days, that shopping there. Haven't gotten to it, but I'm gonna get to it soon. I gotta get to that. I got video footage of 2 houses ago now. Before I started even making videos, I got footage. And I haven't used it yet. Yeah. See here. There's mango, papayas. Okay, he answered my question. Also DTM. Well, that's very interesting. That I wonder. Life Regenerator. Maybe that's how you found me, because we were in the same circles. I didn't know there were other circles. I just see, when you don't know, you just don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yep, we got to wrap it up. And look at all that. That's a couple years ago. Nothing unusual there. Orange peels. Here's the failed vegan. She was just low energy, depressed, and not sure how she was eating, but she probably could have used some carving the F up. Probably. Okay. Oh, Joey Carb Strong got a video coming. Extremely graphic. That doesn't sound interesting to me. But, you know, some people need to see that. Okay. Another video coming later today. And I'll see you next week here live. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, everybody. Good weekend. Eat a lot of fruit. Bye.